Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial with the box model Swan. I'm going to show you all this box modeling technique and of course there's no one correct or incorrect way of modeling this Swan with this box modeling technique that I'm going to show you, and of course you can perfect this model um, the way that makes the most sense to you. Um, and basically, this is not really the ultimate accurate way. There are still some vertices that I need to move around to make this look even better. But I'm going to show you this so that you can work on your assignment, and later on in the class we'll redo this just to get some more experiments with an experience with this model. So basically, first off, we did set up our materials. I'm not going to go over setting up of your material again, but the idea is to basically click on the map, and for each of these materials here, select the bitmap of the shape of the swan. And then I created a half opaque material and a full opaque material here. And next I'm going to go in and model this swan. So these are the final product, the front view and the perspective view of my swan. And let me show you the side view of it right here, the side view of the transparent swan. Alright, so let's get started. First thing, let me just take these out of the way. Alright, now we're ready to start modeling our our swan with box modeling techniques. So there are two ways that you can set up your box. You can either go to shapes and create a little box at either the tail of the swan or the beak, or even you can start, for example, from the body and start extruding boxes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use a box. I'm going to use a rectangle. Effectively, when you think about it, you set a box and then you turn it into an editable poly, or you can create a rectangle and turn it into an editable poly and then extrude just that polygon. So this is actually a symmetric object. I'm going to box it symmetrically, box model it without symmetry modifier, and then I'm going to show you how you can do that with the symmetry modifier. Actually, in fact, doing it with symmetry modifier is going to be probably the best way to model this box. So let's go ahead and create a small little box at the beak of the swan. So this is now my beginning of the process, and I'm going to convert this box into an editable poly. Now remember, when you're working with the perspective or orthographic views, you basically have a two-dimensional view of the object. So when I created the box on the beak of the swan, actually, if you look at the top viewport, it wasn't placed at the beak. So I'm going to have to move it to the beak, and then I'm going to go to the left viewport, the bottom left corner here, and so it is a vertical box. So I'm going to actually rotate it and make it fit on the beginning of the beak. So now this is my box. Now just a quick overview about how you would be able to see the pictures on the planes on your three-dimensional virtual studio that you set up. You need to go and click on the viewport options and check the shaded option. Otherwise, your orthographic views are going to be wireframe views, and they're not going to be much useful. So now I have my beginning box, which is effectively the beginning of my model. So what I'm going to have to do is to go to its sub-object, especially the polygon sub-object. You press the key number 4, or click on the editable poly expand and collapse icon and select the polygon subobject. And then from this point on, the process is fairly straightforward. You pick a face, you extrude it out along your object, and then you try to put the vertices so that they would fit with your reference frames. So you basically grab the vertex. I'm not going to actually show um, um, the caddy, and it looked a little bit easier perhaps to first work with the caddy, and I'm going to actually extrude along the local normal so that I'd be facing correctly, or the polygon that I extrude is facing correctly. Now as you see here, it's the beginning of the beak, kind of looks like that, and it is its alignment with the other viewports is like so. Now open up your material editor and then drag a your opaque or your transparent material on top of the box that you created, so that we can see in our viewports. Now the next step is to fit your vertices on the models. So basically I've got, with the new box that I created, I've got 4 vertices, and I have to basically match them where the swan's beak basically is. So I'm going to grab the bottom vertices from my left viewport. Then I'm going to put them down here. Then the rightmost vertices, the ones on the right, would have to basically go out a bit like so. And then the bottom vertices, I'm going to select them from the perspective view, and then I'm going to go into my orthographic view and fit them. Then I'm going to work with the vertices in the top viewport, try to match them along the shape, and same with the bottom vertices. And this time I'm going to work with these bottom vertices in the front viewport. Let's grab the I grabbed the transparent material and applied it. Now that I'm satisfied with this first piece of the swan, then you're going to have to go back to the extrude model and extrude some more. And this time, again, we're going to extrude along the local normals and do the same process. So I'm going to go back to my vertices and try to work on them and fit them within my other viewports, my orthographic viewports. So that is the vertex over there. This vertex there. Extrude out. And the top vertices also would have to go out. That top vertex align up. And then the bottom vertices, I want them to go down like so. Then these need to be also extruded out. So just notice my top viewport and my front viewport. I'm basically extruding my the beak of the swan, like so. And same process with the top vertices of the top of the swan's beak. And you can go back to your previous vertices and work with them along the way as well. Okay, this is almost good. Next, oops, actually, this isn't really too good. So I extruded them two out. Go down, move this vertex down. This is out. Okay, this is better. There's just a little bit of misalignment with my vertices that are going on, but something, it's not too bad. Okay, let's go back to polygon and then again extrude out a little bit more. This time I'm not going to use the caddy, I'm just going to drag and extrude the beak out like so. Go back to the vertex sub-object and try to align the beak of the swan. Okay, and right then let's drag these vertices and align them out. Okay. Drag these vertices out as well. And basically you just keep track of these in all the four viewports: perspective viewport, top, left, and front viewports. Then we're going to extrude some more out. Now this time I'm going to basically make the head. So these vertices, I'm going to move these up where the top of the swan's head will be, and these will go down. Then work with vertices. The head is a bit wider. Actually, should go a bit further in. One of the things that you need to really be careful about is that the top viewport, the boundaries of the top viewport, because it looks from the top of your model, the bottom of the model is wider than the top. It's going to basically be a little bit misleading. So that was what I got in trouble right over there. So try to look at all your viewports and try to fit your model vertices reasonably in all the viewports. Now, as you see here, the cheeks of the swan here, they're going to be a little bit wider. Now what I'm doing is I'm basically creating the base of the swan. So later on, if I wanted the head to create the head, I'm going to go and extrude out this polygon a little bit out and use that as the face of the swan. So for the first step here, for the first phase, we're going to go down and create the base of the swan. So next we're going to extrude more out and then move these vertices now. So I'm going to move these down there, and this vertex, move it up there, like so, and then move these vertices out, like so, and the neck gets a bit thinner, like so. Then go back in here, and then extrude some more for the neck, and I'm going to stop right there. And now I'm going to try to make this polygon to be down facing. So next I'm going to basically start going down the neck of this swan. So we're going to make this polygon a bit down facing and move the vertices a bit further in, make it a little bit thinner. And we still can go back in and start getting the neck of the swan. Now I think I am kind of happy with this. Now I'm going to just extrude again here, then go back to the vertex sub-object, move this bit out, and that'll go down, and that'll create the neck of my swan. Now move these vertices a little bit more in to match up. Okay, so then now I'm going to go to the edge sub-object, and since I want the neck now to be completely vertical going down, I fitted out in the front view for these vertices at the bottom rectangle. So now that's the bottom rectangle for the swan, kind of like that. Then we're going to go back to the polygon sub-object, and we're going to extrude down a bit further. So I'm going to go halfway through the neck of the swan and move the vertices like so. And just make sure that everything looks okay. Everything looks pretty good so far. Now notice that the neck is very straightened out in here. That's no problem. If I wanted to, I could go to the edit geometry and do a swift loop right here. That will create some vertices out in the middle, and then I can pull these out and give a little bit of a curvature to the neck. So basically for this piece, this part of the modeling, we're not really too concerned about the details of our model. We just want the model to be reasonably set up. Then back again into the polygon sub-object and extrude some more. Then go back to the vertex sub-object and then extrude out, or rather move out the vertices. Okay. Now this piece of the swan is getting the neck of the swan is getting a bit fatter. So we're going to basically move our vertices now a little bit to match out the width of the neck at the bottom here. Okay, so like so. Then I'm going to extrude some more. Extrude out. Now here I want to go back again to make these vertical. So back in the vertex sub-object, I am going to match it with the neck of the swan, and then go back to the polygon sub-object, and now again extrude some more out, and then go back to the vertex sub-object and match it up with the neck of the swan right there. Now notice I'm still working on the neck of the swan, so I wouldn't pull these vertices out that way, because see, if you look at my top viewport, that's not where the swan starts getting the swan's shapes starts getting wider, right? So, but on the top of this the swan, I can actually start moving these vertices a bit out, like so. Alright, next we'll go back to the face or polygon sub-object. Now extrude some more, and then again back to the vertex sub-object and try to match it up. Now next I'm going to actually create the bottom vertex to go from right there down here. Actually, you know what? Let's move these guys down there for the bottom of this swan, and then pull these up a little bit, pull these out a little bit, and then I'm going to pull these up a little bit, because I'm not really too accurate actually there. So now this is kind of sort of where I want my swan's body to start, right? So now that I've got my swan's body, actually let's move these guys also out a bit to match with the body polygons there. So as you see, in each of these viewports, I'm going to basically still look quite like just two-dimensional. Move this up a little bit, and then way that way. Okay, cool. Now we're going to go back again to the face sub-object or polygon sub-object and keep extruding. This time I'm going to extrude it out, and then top of the model goes right there. Create that little hump over there, and these vertices belong to the bottom of that model, kind of like that. Okay, back in the extrude modifier, and then again back to the vertex modifier. And so we're going to make this now like so. Back to the extrude modifier, extrude out, back to the vertex modifier, and match the outlines of my shape. Then again, back to the extrude modifier, back to the vertex, sub-object mode, and match things up. Now, I need to go back in and start matching now that I have all these vertices created, start matching them up with the actual top and front viewport of my model too. So, like so. That's going to be a very small trapezoid there and there. There and there, like so. Okay, and merge these guys up here, like so. Alright, now this is almost done, except that I want to pull these guys in further a little bit, like so. And these guys need to go further in too, so. Okay, so now I almost have my swan fixed. What I'm going to actually do is now I'm going to go in for these vertices that are a little bit off alignment. I'm going to align them. So basically go to pick the two vertices up here, for example, which are the vertices on top of the swan there. And then I'm going to align them with the y-axis. And then I'm going to align these guys with the y-axis too. Reasonably set. Alright, so now this is the base body of my swan. As you see, this is just a tiny bit thin, right? And of course, you can easily see that the body of my swan is not really aligned on the at least on the top viewport. It's because these vertices that I extruded out and worked with, these belongs to the inner part of the swan, right? So the ones that are essentially kind of sort of um, make the central part of this swan. So now the next step for me is to go in and start extruding the sides of the swan out to make it a little bit round around the center. So basically now I want to create this part of the swan and this part of the swan, right? To do that, actually, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go in and think of now this part, these polygons, this one, this one, this one, this one, and start extruding these guys out. To get this a little bit easier, or make this a little bit easier on me, what I'm going to do is actually let's also get this part of the swan too. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these inner edges of the side of the swan, and then I'm going to make this into one polygon. and then create an outline of that polygon, and then extrude the outline out. So let's go to the edge sub-object, and then I'm going to select this edge, this edge, this edge, this edge, and that edge, and then press backspace. This will delete these unnecessary edges. If you press delete, it's going to delete the polygon with it too. I don't want to delete the polygon. I want to keep the polygon, because this is the polygon that I want to now extrude out and make the side of my swan. So actually there are two ways to do that. You can create an outline of it and then extrude the outline out, or you can extrude it and then scale it down. Let's actually extrude it out, and then or rather let's just actually bevel it. So I'm going to bevel this out, and then I'm going to make this go a bit smaller. Let's bevel some more. Oops, that was too much. Bevel it out. Ooh, just a tiny little bit. And then bevel out. Okay. Oops. Bevel it out like that. Then go down like that. Okay. Now, a problem I've got is the problem with these vertices down here. And this vertex up here, they got distorted because they got too close to each other. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to target weld these two vertices with each other, like so. And actually we could also target weld these vertices, like so. Okay, then I'm going to go and try to match these vertices with where they're supposed to be going. So go to the vertex sub-object, and then now we're going to match these vertices with the outlines of my object, like so. And drag these vertices again, in and out. To our lineup. Okay. Then we're going to go back into the vertex subobject, and I'll do another bevel of the side of the swan, just a tiny little bit actually this time. And then I've got again a bunch of vertices that are mismatched, and I can actually weld these vertices with each other. Alright, those vertices are welded. Then I'm going to weld this vertex with this guy, and this one with this one. Actually, I probably can also weld these guys too. And this will effectively fix my problems there. And these guys will go down. Okay, this will be the side of my swan. Okay. Of course, these two vertices way out. You can push these guys in. They don't have to be all the way out there. And same with this vertex. And same with these guys. They can also go in. Okay, so that is pretty good right over there. Except that what I could do actually, I could go into my edge sub-object and delete this inner edge there and pull this vertex a bit out like so. And this will create one side of my swan. So let's go back, work on the other side of the swan. So we're going to go back to the edge sub-object, and again, as I said, I'm going to be deleting these inner edges of the side of the swan. Select them and click backspace, and then you will be able to select the side of your swan. And then you'll be able to extrude, bevel this side actually. So we're going to basically drag it out a bit and then make it go small, like so. Okay, and then some of these vertices will be messed up, and those that are messed up a little bit, those would be the ones that we want to target weld them, because the edges are too small for these vertices. And then I'm going to move the rest of these vertices. So now I'm going to be working on this side of the swan. These guys will have to go in a bit, like so. Like that. Basically moving a line, moving a line, moving a line. And then for these guys, I'm going to also go ahead and target weld these vertices. I'm going to target weld this vertex and this guy right there, and target weld this vertex and this guy right there. Then move this vertex a bit out, like so. These vertices just move them a bit out. Okay, kind of happy with this so far. Let's actually now connect this vertex and this vertex. There's needs to be an edge between these guys. So I'll pick the two vertices and click on connect. That adds an edge right here. I was missing that polygon right there. And then I'm going to also now connect this vertex and this vertex. That's going to add an edge there. And now, for the last piece, I am going to now extrude this polygon. And I'm going to make another, or rather bevel this polygon, kind of like so. Just bevel just a tiny bit out, and then that was actually too much. Bevel it a tiny bit out, just a tiny bit, and then make it go down like so. And I've got a bunch of vertices also that are kind of missing right there. Okay, so this vertex. Let's move all these guys in to fit with the side. And then actually what I would like to do, I think I would like to align all these vertices along the x-axis there. And then the ones that are not quite well, like for example these three down here. Oops. Actually, let's bring in the solid color so that now we can actually see the vertices that we're talking about. So now I want to target weld these three vertices. So click on one, then target weld it with the middle one, and target weld this two guys, and then also I want to target weld these two guys. So drag the source vertex with the target weld into destination vertex, and this is quite good. So I just created my nice looking little swan. I'm just gonna go in and now work with my vertices one last time, get them sort of set up. Let's scale this polygon down a bit. So the top polygons on my swan's back. Okay, so this is basically how the swan looks like in all my 4 viewports. Now, also, remember when we talked about the face of the swan? I said that I wanted the face of the swan to also kind of be a little bit wider than the beak. So I'm going to go in and pick on these 3 edges and delete them. And then I'm going to go on the other side and pick these 3 edges and backspace and delete those. Now I can click on back to the polygon sub object, outline it, and then with the outline you can actually, oops, too much. Oh, actually let's inset it. Inset this guy and just a little bit. .25 should be plenty. And then just drag this piece just out a tiny little bit, and then scale this polygon down. Along the Z and the Y axis. Let's make this actually non-uniform, so I'll have a little bit of flexibility in terms of my scaling. Okay, so now that is kind of the side of my swan. The vertices are just a bit off, so I'm going to work on them. Actually, you know what? We're gonna drag all of these vertices way out, and then I'm gonna align them with the x-axis, and then push them slightly. Okay, so that's one side of the face of this swan. Then go to the edges of object, go to back again with the inset, and so let's make it that much, and then we're going to scale like so, and then drag these vertices out just a tiny little bit, like so, and that will create the side of my swan. Also, I'm going to go to these vertex of object mode, and then align all these vertices with the x-axis. Like so. This vertex. There. Okay, so this is kind of sort of like the swan look, and 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 now that I have this swan box modeled, and then you can spend some time working with these vertices and getting them aligned up and working. Then I'm going to right click, hold shift and left click and drag a copy of the swan out. And then, since the swan is like a curved object, I'm going to put a turbo smooth modifier on top of it. So the turbo smooth modifier is going to smooth out the box modeled swan and create a nice looking curved swan shape out of the box model swan. With the turbo smooth modifier, you have iterations. If you increase the iterations, you're going to increase the smoothness of the object, but at the same time, you're going to increase the number of polygons. So, for example, here, the entire scene now is made of 18,000 polygons, whereas if you decrease the iteration to 1, you're going to be with 3,000 polygons. Actually, I also have these guys in the scene that I created before to show you how the final product should look like. So the iteration is the complexity of your swan. If you increase it to like probably 4, 5, 6, depending on your computer, you're going to crash the program. You can also create different render iterations, how smooth it's going to render. So for example, we have a very smooth render iteration as opposed to with 5 iterations, or if we just use 1 iteration for the rendering, it's going to be a different set of complexity in render or viewport. And so basically this is it. This is how you box model swan or any other object. You start with your Visual Studio, 3D Studio. You go and create boxes and extrude and align, extrude, align, extrude, align, and finally you get your object. Well, I hope you enjoy this video, and I will talk to you in the classroom. Thank you.